My beloved child, there is something sacred drawing near, and I do not want you to miss it. Do not let the hurried rhythm of your steps drown out the gentle call from eternity. There are things that can only be heard when the soul is still. And today is that moment. A turning point is approaching. A divine shift is unveiling what I have prepared for you. I see clearly every worry you do not speak. I hear the sighs in the midnight hours when no one else is near. I understand the deep weariness you try to hide behind your smile. Your heart has been holding on for too long, running tirelessly down roads of uncertainty, clinging to every chance, every fragile thread of hope, as if you must save yourself from an oncoming storm. But my child, today is not a day for you to keep fighting alone. Today is the day I draw near, to embrace you, to remind you that you are not alone. I do not require you to be strong at all times. I do not need you to always have the answers. I only ask for a heart willing to pause, not to give up, but to listen. Listen to me. Listen to the call of love that has surrounded you since the foundation of the world. For what is coming today is not an end, but a beginning. Something new, extraordinary, and holy is arriving. And it will not come with thunder, with a fierce wind, or with blazing fire. It will come like a gentle whisper, a soft touch upon the soul. And if you keep running, you will miss it. You've spent too long trying to become the version the world expects. You've poured out all your strength seeking approval, striving to prove your worth. But I did not call you here to compete with anyone. I did not create you to be defined by fear or achievement. You do not have to prove anything to me, for my love for you is not based on what you accomplish. That love is the firmest foundation, the place where you can lay your head and rest without hiding anything. You do not have to be perfect to be loved by me. You do not need to always know what comes next. Today, I invite you to do just one thing. Stop running. Stop blaming yourself. Stop pushing yourself to have all the answers. Turn back and look at me. Look into my eyes, where there is no judgment, only tender understanding. For only when you look at me will you see yourself clearly. Who you are is not found in the mistakes you've made, but in the hands of the one who called you by name. Anxiety does not define you. Chaos does not hold your future. The voices in your mind, the ones filled with doubt and fear, are not the final truth. The truth is, you belong to me, and when you belong to me, nothing can separate you from the goodness I have planned since before time began. Even when you feel unworthy, I remain. Even when you give up, I keep walking toward you. And today I am here, in this very moment, inviting you back into stillness within my presence. Do not fear the stillness, my beloved. It is not emptiness, it is preparation. It is the space where I long to fill you with the new. There are seeds of miracles being sown in your spirit, but if your heart stays hurried, the ground will not be still enough to receive them. Let your heart become quiet, like a morning lake, so I can whisper the secrets of heaven to you. There are things that cannot be spoken through the storm, but only shared through the gentle breath between two souls in love. You have gone far, tried many paths, and grown weary from trying to find your own way. But today I invite you to return, not to your past, but to the truth. The truth that you are loved, you are chosen, you are being prepared for something greater. I am opening a door that no one can shut, but to walk through it, you must first stop. Stop to be ready. Stop to be restored. Stop to hear me say, now is the time. Now is the time for you to lay down the pressure of having to save yourself. Now is the time for you to let me lead. Now is the time to believe that not every good thing must be earned through striving alone, for often the greatest things come through quiet trust. I am the Eternal One, the source of life and hope, and I am doing something new, right in the midst of dryness, right in the land you once deemed hopeless. But if you do not stop, how will you see it? My beloved, the winds are shifting, a new season is approaching. What you thought was the end is merely the prelude. You will no longer have to fight as you did before. I will fight for you. You will no longer walk in darkness. I will be the light that leads you. But the first thing, the most important thing, remains this. Stop. Stop, so you can hear the call from heaven. Stop, so you can feel the warmth of my presence. Stop, so you may know you are not merely surviving. You are being led into a divine purpose. And it does not begin with conquest, but with a whisper. Can you hear me? Today is that day. The day everything begins to change. The day darkness loses its grip. The day truth is unveiled, and my love fills every broken crevice of your soul. But you must choose. Stop. Look up, and follow the voice that does not come from this world, but from the one who called you out of ashes to become a light in the night. My beloved, let your heart be still in this moment, for I am speaking to you something of great weight, something you have longed for, wept for, and silently endured, is about to change. Not tomorrow, not some vague time in the future, but today, this very day. A turning point will come. I know what you are facing. I am not blind to the tears you have shed, nor deaf to the times you've tried to look strong just to hide your trembling soul. I see that you've been holding on for far too long in a battle that seems never-ending. Perhaps it's the weight of finances suffocating you day by day. The bills, the debts, the responsibilities piling on like they're crushing your spirit. You don't want to complain, but every time you open your eyes, it feels like you're standing on the edge. Or perhaps it's a relationship that has withered your heart. Someone you once trusted fully, but now only distance, disappointment, and unanswered questions remain. You've tried again and again to save it, to hold on, to mend what was broken, and in doing so, you've lost yourself. Or maybe, deep inside, there is a desolate land, an emptiness nothing in this world can fill. You've tried to find meaning through achievements, through others, through work, through recognition, but nothing truly soothes the emptiness within. The more you strive, the more lost you feel. But today I want you to hear me clearly. A shift is coming. Not a vague change, not an empty comfort, but a true intervention from me, the one who created you, the one who knows every pain and the deepest longing within your heart. I am realigning what once seemed broken. I am shaking the very foundations of despair to give birth to something new, something far beyond what you could imagine. You will no longer live in the endless cycle of anxiety. What once kept you awake at night, what once made you speechless in prayer, what once led you to ask, "Lord, are you still there?" All of it is being moved. The operation of heaven is moving toward you. And because of that, today is not an ordinary day. This is the beginning of deliverance. This is the day when the door you thought had been permanently shut will swing open once again. This is the day I say to you, my beloved child, the time has come for what I promised to be fulfilled. The time has come for you to see that your prayers were never in vain. I have never allowed a single one of your tears to fall without meaning. Not one of your sighs was wasted. I have heard them all, remembered them all, and now I am answering. But you must prepare. Prepare to receive the change. Prepare to release the old definitions of yourself. Prepare to be lifted from the darkness and step into the land I have prepared for you. Do not let your current circumstances make you doubt. The thickest darkness always appears right before the dawn breaks. The fiercest storm often precedes the clearest skies. And what you are seeing today, whether confusion, weariness, or dead ends, is simply the close of an old chapter. A new chapter is being opened, a chapter of healing, a chapter of supernatural provision, a chapter of restored relationships, a chapter where your calling is awakened and your purpose is restored, not by your strength, but by my grace. I am the one who makes the desert bloom, the one who calls life forth from what was dead, the one who makes a way through the sea. And today, I choose to act in your life, not because you are good enough, but because I am faithful. Not because you are perfect, but because my love for you does not change, no matter where you are. Beloved child, if you pause long enough to truly listen, if you surrender to the stillness and open your heart to feel, you will see clearly. I am whispering to your soul, not through loud noise or overwhelming signs, but through a gentle current flowing through the cracks of your soul. And within that current, I am bringing transformation, a transformation no earthly power can stop. If you truly pay attention, you will realize that something is shifting. The fear that once silenced you, once held you back, once made you question yourself, is beginning to break. It no longer reigns over your heart as it once did. Every invisible chain that bound your mind is cracking. The timidity in your spirit is being replaced by a new strength, a strength that flows from my presence, not from your own weary striving. The pain you've silently carried, the pain that stole your innocence, made you close yourself off from the world, made you question even true love. I have seen it all. And now, it is my hand reaching into the deepest places, the ones you've hidden for fear of being hurt again. Let me heal. Not by covering up or forgetting, but by restoring. I do not erase your past, but I am giving you a new lens, so you will understand that even through those wounds, I will cause life to flow. The chaotic whispers in your mind, the blame, the worry, the confusion, the self-condemnation are beginning to fade. Fear no longer leads you. Instead, a light is beginning to shine within you. A light of wisdom, discernment, and peace that only I can give. You will begin to see what is true, what is false. You will no longer run in circles searching for answers. For I am giving you clarity from within, and the prayers you offered with tears, even when you thought I was silent, that I turned my back, that I had forgotten you. Today I declare to you, not a single one of your prayers has been overlooked. I have heard them all. And not only have I heard, I have been moving all along. From the very moment you whispered, "Lord, help me," I began to act. Not in your timing, but in the perfection of mine. There are things that must be aligned in divine order, and because I love you, I did not let you receive anything halfway or incomplete. You may not see the results today. What I'm doing might still be hidden, like a seed quietly sprouting underground. But this I promise you, a promise not from man, but from the very one who created all things. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter, something entirely different, a new season in your life. This is the day the skies over your life begin to shift. This is the moment, though your eyes may not yet see, your soul will begin to sense it. Hope is rising again. Not a fragile hope, but a deep certainty, rooted in my faithfulness. From this day on, you will walk with greater confidence, not because you've become stronger, but because you've learned to lean on me more. What once made you fall will now become the place where you stand the tallest. The trials that once made you want to give up will now become the very material I use to mold you into a light bearer for others who are lost, just as you once were. I do not promise you an easy road, but I do promise you this: you will never walk it alone again. I will go with you through every stretch, lift you over every chasm, and open every door no one can shut. I will place new people in your life, those who will walk beside you, support you, and step with you into the journey I have prepared. From today forward, your soul will begin to realize this one truth: you are no longer the same. Something has shifted, and that change came from deep within, from your choice to believe, to pause and listen, to open your heart once again to my love. If you look back on the days gone by, you'll see that every failure, every loss, every moment that felt hopeless was never wasted. It all led you to this moment, a sacred moment, a threshold where the old ends and the new begins. And today, you cross over, not by your own strength, but by my loving guidance. My beloved child, I see clearly what is quietly unfolding in your mind, the conflicting thoughts, the questions filled with doubt, the whispers of fear you dare not share with anyone. I know that there are moments when, just after hearing a promise full of hope, your heart is pierced with aching questions. But what if nothing happens? What if all these promises are just a beautiful dream, only to fade away like so many hopes before? I see you wrestling between faith and disappointment. I understand that feeling. When you once hoped, once poured out your trust completely, only for the outcome to fall short of your expectations. You wonder if you were wrong to place your faith in the unseen. You ask if you've wasted too much time praying without a reply. But my child, listen to me in the stillness of your soul. I am not surprised by these thoughts. I am not disappointed that you are struggling to believe. On the contrary, I draw nearer when you feel weak. I do not condemn you for your doubts, for I know how much your heart has endured. What I want you to know is this: I am not bound by the limits of time or circumstance. What you see with your eyes is never the full picture. You look at the present with anxiety, but I see the future in its completion. I saw you even before you called out. I have gone ahead of you on every path, and even though you walk through the valley of darkness, I am silently orchestrating, still working behind doors your eyes cannot yet behold. When you pray, not with polished words, but with sighs and silent tears, I have listened. Every time you choose to trust me in the midst of doubt, every time you wipe your tears and take another step, every time you whisper, I still believe, in those very moments, you are planting precious seeds in the field of faith. And my child, every one of those seeds will bear fruit. Some miracles arrive in a moment, sudden powerful and unmistakable, but others unfold quietly, like the sunrise that returns each morning. Bit by bit, I am softening the soil of your soul, watering the seeds with your perseverance, and calling new life to rise from the places you thought were barren. You may not see the fruit right away, but that does not mean your prayers have vanished into the void. My word never returns void. When I speak a thing, it shall be fulfilled according to my will. And if I have promised that you will be healed, that you will be restored, that you will step into a new season of life, then it shall be so. No power can prevent it. No circumstance can overturn the promises of your Creator. You may ask, but why is it taking so long? Why doesn't it change right away? I want you to know this. It is in the waiting that I am refining you. Not to make you suffer needlessly, but to deepen your faith, so that when you step into what I've prepared, you will be strong enough to hold it. So you will learn to trust in me, not in your own timetable. I am never late. I always arrive right on time. And when you look back, you will see what seemed like delay was actually my protection, my preparation, my love. My beloved child, do not let this temporary silence make you believe I have forgotten you. Do not let the delay convince you that the promise has been withdrawn. No, it is precisely in the moments when you see the least movement that I am working the deepest. It is when you feel most depleted that the roots of your faith are growing the strongest. You may not yet see the bloom, but the seed is sprouting, and the day will come when it rises, full of life. Keep praying, keep believing, keep hoping, not by your own strength, but by the assurance that I am faithful. Let every breath become a song of praise. Let every step in the darkness be a declaration. Even though I cannot see, I know you are working. Because you see, faith is not about feeling comfortable. Faith is not about always seeing immediate results. Faith is daring to keep believing even when every emotion inside you screams to give up. Faith is reaching out to take my hand in the dark and trusting that I will never let go. And I promise you, a promise from my heart to yours, that what I have begun, I will complete. You do not need to worry about tomorrow. You do not need to understand everything. You only need to keep your faith, like a small flame still burning through the long night. That is enough for me. Today, lift up your head. Do not let fear be the driver anymore. Do not let delay discourage your heart. You are standing on the threshold between the past and an entirely new season, and you will not walk into it empty-handed. You will walk into it carrying what I have promised, fulfilled, restored, renewed. This is not wishful thinking, this is truth. This is from the one who cannot lie. And if you hold on to it, if you continue to put your trust in me, then soon you will see with your eyes what you once only dared to believe in your heart. And when that moment comes, you will know, I was there the entire way. Oh, my beloved child, now is the time for you to learn how to stand firm in faith, not by fleeting feelings, not by a fragile trust that only survives when all is well, but by deep surrender and unwavering confidence in my unchanging faithfulness. Faith is not just the words you speak on peaceful days. It is the inner strength refined in the fire of adversity. To stand firm in faith means that when the storm arrives, when the door you thought would open slams shut, When the things you hoped for don't unfold the way you expected, still you do not waver, do not falter, do not give up. Watch how I work, not with hurried eyes or skeptical glances, but with a patient heart and an open mind. I do not operate according to human patterns. I do not function by the world's clock, but I am always working, silently, deeply, precisely, and full of love. When you see nothing, that is when I am laying the firmest foundation. When you hear nothing, that is when I am teaching you to listen with your heart. So do not let doubt creep into your mind like a thief stealing your hope. Reject the voice that whispers, "This will never change." Reject the thought that says, "Maybe God isn't paying attention to my prayers." Do not let worry paralyze your soul and pull you into a spiral of fear. You were not born to live under the weight of anxiety. You were created to walk in the guidance of the Holy Spirit, the one who always brings life, peace, and power. Standing firm in faith also means learning to respond differently when trials come. Instead of reacting with panic, learn to respond with inner stillness, with the assurance that you are not walking alone. Remind yourself, "I know the one in whom I believe, and he never retreats. He has gone before me in every circumstance, making a way even before I could see one." Steadfastness doesn't mean you won't feel weak or afraid, but it does mean you don't allow those emotions to govern your decisions. It means you choose to place your trust in me, not because you understand everything, but because you know that I am the one who never changes. When trials come, I don't expect you to be superhuman. I only want you to remember that you are not fighting alone. I want you to look up, not just around. I want you to learn to breathe in the storm, to sing in the darkness, to believe in the midst of doubt. Because it is in those very moments that your faith is refined into pure gold. Imagine a soldier standing in the midst of battle. When the gunfire erupts and smoke fills the air, he does not panic or flee. Why? Because he knows his commander is still watching, still leading. He knows the strategy has already been laid out, and all he needs to do is remain at his post, faithful and unwavering. You are the same. I am the Supreme Commander, and my eyes never leave you. You don't have to understand every step to believe that I am working. Sometimes trusting me means continuing forward without every answer. It means learning to stand firm even when everything around you seems unstable. It means daring to step out of the familiar boat of safety and walk on water. With your eyes fixed on me, not on the wind and waves. And when you choose to do that, you will discover something miraculous. You will begin to experience a kind of peace that does not come from this world. A deep, abiding stillness, not dependent on outcomes. A steadfastness that only becomes yours when your soul is anchored in me. Prepare your heart for the moment of restoration. The breakthrough you have long awaited is drawing near. Not in imagination, not in vague dreams, but in reality. I am coming to you, strong and mighty, not merely to soothe you, but to break every chain that has ever bound your life at the root. You no longer have to live under the shadow of what once was, the invisible shackles of old pain, unhealed memories, and words that once wounded your mind are being shattered by me. Every bondage, every lie the enemy has sown into your heart will be uprooted. I am working, stirring a change from within, so that you will not only be freed from the burden, but rise up and walk in true freedom, the kind that no one can take from you, for it comes from me alone. My light is breaking forth. It not only illuminates the path ahead, but it dissolves every fog that once clouded your vision. There are things from your past you've feared to face, hidden memories, unspoken failures, choices that left you with regret. But I declare this to you now: nothing can remain hidden before the light of my truth. I do not shine my light to shame you. I shine it so that you may be healed. For where truth dwells, there is freedom. And my truth, my light, is the very path that leads you out of fear, out of doubt, out of every chain you once believed you could never escape. You once asked me, "When, Lord? When will I be restored? When will I truly step into what you have promised?" And today I answer you, that moment is closer than ever before. Layer by layer, piece by piece, I am opening the door for you to enter a new season, a season of restoration, of what was lost being recovered, of what was broken being mended by my own hands. You will see miracles, but not just outward miracles. You will witness resurrection from within. You will begin to feel joy again, the kind you thought had died. You will smile without forcing it. You will wake up without the heaviness that used to weigh on your soul. You will feel peace for no apparent reason, because it is the peace that surpasses all understanding, flowing from my presence. And you will know it was I who did it, not because you overcame it yourself, not because circumstances suddenly shifted, but because I, who heard even the smallest whisper of your spirit, reached out and acted. Because my love for you is unshakable. You may look around and see that not everything has changed yet, but let your soul see through the eyes of faith. Sense the subtle movements I am making. Every day you choose to trust me is another step closer to fulfillment. Do not rush for results. Cling to the promise, for my word is never in vain. When I speak something over your life, it cannot be undone, it cannot be hindered, and it will surely come to pass. Every lie you once believed, that you weren't good enough, that you didn't deserve healing, that you had strayed too far from my plan, will be exposed under the light of truth, and you will see yourself through my eyes, loved, chosen, forgiven, restored. There is nothing I cannot make new, no wound too deep that I cannot heal. I am not merely repairing what was broken. I am recreating you, building you from the inside out with a new nature, stronger, wiser, more radiant than before. You will not return to the old version of yourself. You will step into a new identity, a new strength, marked by me. But my dear child, there is one thing I want you to understand clearly. Do not let doubt or fear stop you from stepping into the land of promise. There are doors waiting for you to walk through, but you must be courageous. You must move forward, even if your hands still tremble, even if your heart still hesitates. Do not let the past hold you back. Do not let previous disappointments cause you to reject the goodness now approaching. Remember, I am not like man. I do not forget what I promise. When I declare it, I have already designed it. When I speak it, I have already begun to fulfill it. You are not alone on this journey. I am holding your hand, guiding each step. And if you feel weak, lean into my strength. If you feel lost, let my word be the lamp to your feet. And if you ever doubt, remember, every moment I was there, I held you. I carried you through the darkness. I am the truth, I do not change. And everything I have spoken over your life, whether in silence, through prophecy, or within your very spirit, will come to pass. Not a single word will fall to the ground without bearing fruit. Not one promise has been forgotten. Prepare your heart, open wide your arms, for the light is drawing near, restoration is rising, glory is unfolding. And you will step into everything I have promised, no longer with fear, no longer with doubt, but with a heart full of gratitude and eyes radiant with wonder, because at last you will see, I have never abandoned you, and what I have begun I will complete, in fullness, beauty, and glory. Beloved, let your heart be fully open to me in this very moment, for I am speaking something living and true to you. Do not doubt me. Even the smallest doubt, my child, can hinder the great things I long to do in your life. Do not let past disappointments or unfulfilled waiting seasons dry up your spirit. I am not a man that I should lie, and my words are not like the words of men. I am the Almighty, the one who can lift your life above even the deepest dreams you've held inside, even the ones you dared not speak aloud for fear they were too distant. You have limited your faith to what seems possible within your own sight, but I am not bound by logic, by reality, by circumstance, or by any human limit. I am the one who makes a way where there is no way, who causes water to flow in the desert, who turns the impossible into the already done, and I am not merely present to observe your life. I am here to transform it, deeply and completely. Let me begin at the deepest place, your soul. I see what you've never voiced to anyone. I see the wounds you've avoided for so long. I see the parts of you that have withered from rejection, pain, and neglect. And I have come to heal, not with a shallow comfort, but with a total restoration, that your soul may not only be healed, but renewed, reborn in light and true life. But I will not stop there. I see what is unfolding in your family, the growing distances, the silent fractures, the words left unsaid, and the misunderstandings unresolved. I see the prayers you've quietly lifted for your loved ones, your longing for a home filled with peace and love. And I say to you, I am doing a new thing. I will bring harmony where there was conflict. I will knit back together hearts that have grown distant. I will breathe life into relationships once thought dead, through the breath of forgiveness and love. If you have ever thought your family is beyond redemption, think again. I am the one who created family, and I am also the one with the power to restore it completely. Place each of your loved ones in my hands. Place what you do not understand, the failures, the old wounds. Place it all before me, and you will witness miracles. Day by day, step by step. Soon you will see transformation not only within your heart, not only in your most cherished relationships, but even in the material aspects of your life. I am the provider. I do not give just enough. I give in abundance. I do not merely help you survive. I want you to live in holy prosperity, where you are no longer the borrower, but the giver, where you live not just to get by, but to pour out. I will place in your hands opportunities, resources, ideas, and open doors that will lead you into a land overflowing with blessing. The promises of prosperity are not something I reserve only for a special few. They are meant for you as well. And no, they do not come by your own striving or brilliance, but from my hand, the hand that blesses without adding sorrow. When you surrender everything into my care, I will guide you in how to use your gifts, how to steward your finances, and how to walk wisely, so that the blessings don't simply touch your life, but overflow through you to others. Imagine, my beloved, a life where your soul is no longer dry, where your home is filled with laughter and compassion, and where your finances are no longer a weight to carry, but a tool to plant seeds of blessing. That is not some far-off dream. It is my plan for you. And today I invite you to begin walking in faith, like a child who knows their Father owns the universe and yet listens to every hidden prayer whispered in the silence. I do not require you to be perfect before I act. All I ask is a heart that is willing to believe that I can do something great, willing to obey when I call, willing to lay down fear and open wide to receive the new. Let go of every limitation you have placed on yourself. Let me be the Father of new dreams within you. I will not only lift you from the mire, I will set you on a spacious place where your soul can breathe again, where you walk lightly in grace, and where you know you are finally living what I have destined you to become. So open the eyes of your faith and look around, my precious one, not with a lens of doubt, not through the weary gaze that once clouded your vision, but through eyes filled with gratitude and hope. Because if you're willing to look deeper, you will see that my gifts are flowing all around you like a river of life, quietly covering every part of your existence, waiting for you to reach out and receive, with a heart that treasures what is holy. Nothing I give is without meaning. There is no moment I create that does not carry a trace of the miraculous. You do not need to wait for something extraordinary to know that I am working. In every breath you take, in the warmth of the morning light, in the peace you feel amidst the chaos, all of it is evidence of my presence, of my grace moving quietly but profoundly in your life. And if you are still enough to listen, you will hear it, that every small thing carries my gentle voice, speaking to the depths of your heart, reminding you that I am here, that I am working all things together in perfect alignment, and that you are walking in the right direction, even if the path still seems long. Do you remember those longings buried deep inside? The ones you've never dared to speak aloud? The dreams you hid away thinking they were too far, too grand for someone like you? I have heard them. Even before you spoke them, I knew. Even before you recognized them, I felt them stir within you. And the most beautiful truth is this: I not only knew, but I am giving them to you, piece by piece, step by step, right on time. Every moment that passes, I am carefully weaving your story with precision and unfailing love. What you saw as coincidence were actually signs I placed before you. The doors that opened unexpectedly, the people who arrived just when you needed them, the opportunities that came right on time. All of these are sacred threads I am using to shape your life into a masterpiece, far greater than you could ever imagine. The path that once seemed obscure, shrouded in doubt and disappointment, is now being illuminated by me. I am not only opening the way, but I go before you, clearing every stumbling stone, filling every unseen pitfall. You no longer have to grope your way through the darkness. I am the lamp at your feet, the light that leads you through the thick of night. I am setting you on a new journey, not for a life of mediocrity, but for you to rise, to surpass your own limitations, to step beyond your worn-out comfort zone and enter a season of radiant fruitfulness. Yet the fruit I give you is not for display, but for overflow. The blessings I pour over your life are not meant to stop with you, but to flow through you, touching others, impacting your community, your family, the generation I have placed you in. You will find yourself becoming a river, not a stagnant pond, but a current that brings life to dry and weary places. What I pour into you is never wasted. I grant you wisdom not only to find your path, but to guide the lost. I grant you mercy not only to heal you, but so you may heal others. I grant you abundance, not just for you to live in fullness, but for you to become the hand that lifts those in need. Let your life be a living testimony of my faithfulness. Let every deed you do, every word you speak, every step you take carry the mark of the grace you have received. Never think your role is small, for when you walk with me, it is the small steps that lead to great things. You may be in a season where the results are not yet visible, but do not draw back. A seed does not see the light for many days, and yet it quietly sends roots deep into the earth, and one day it breaks forth, undeniably alive. So will you. What I am planting within you will grow. It will sprout. It will blossom and bear fruit, not for one season, but season after season. So, my beloved child, keep believing. Keep giving thanks even when the outcome is still unseen, for gratitude is the doorway that leads you into the depth of blessing. When you give thanks not only for what has come, but also for what has yet to be revealed, you are displaying true faith, and I delight in such a heart that trusts I am the one who fulfills every promise. Do not look around and compare yourself to others. Do not ask why someone else has received and you have not. Know this: each journey is divinely tailored, and your portion is uniquely yours. When the time comes, what I have set apart for you will come like a rushing rain, neither delayed, nor lacking, nor disappointing. All you need to do now is keep your heart tender, your eyes wide open, your faith alive, and keep walking. For the light is shining down, the path is unfolding, and my hand is lifting you higher than ever before. Rejoice, my beloved, for what I have begun I am bringing to completion, and you will not only witness it, you will be the living proof of the unchanging glory of the Eternal One. You will stand in the midst of your life and declare, "This is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in my eyes." So, my beloved child, the time has come for you to stop, not to stop walking the path I have laid before you, but to cease the futile battle you've carried for far too long. The battle to become pure by your own strength. I have seen your striving. I have seen you wrestle with guilt, tormenting yourself, condemning yourself for what has passed. You've tried to make amends, to do good in order to be worthy of my love. But my child, my love has never come because of worthiness. You were never meant to carry the burden alone. What you see as too heavy a load, I have carried long ago. On the cross, I bore it all. Every sin, every shame, every mistake you've made, every pain you thought you couldn't overcome. There is nothing so dark within you that I cannot touch. No mistake so great that it would make me change my mind about you. And today I invite you to stop trying to cleanse yourself by your own efforts, and open your heart to receive something far more precious than anything you could ever earn. The cleansing I offer, eternal, unconditional, without limits, without withdrawal. I do not love you because you've lived well. I love you because your very being is precious in my sight. You are my creation, and no stain, whether inflicted by others or brought on by yourself, can ever make me stop loving you. When you turn back, when you step into the light, I do not see your sin. I see a child returning to the arms of the Father. So do not let the accusing voices within rob you of the grace I have given. Do not let regret over the past steal the peace you can live in today. The past has no power if you choose to live in the truth. And the truth is this: you are forgiven. You are washed clean. You have been given a new name, not for guilty, but beloved, restored, set apart. I do not love the version of you that is perfectly fixed. I love you even in your brokenness, and it is in that very brokenness that I rebuild you with my own hands. For it is in your weakest places that my grace becomes strongest. You do not need to wait until you are clean enough to draw near to me. Come just as you are, with scarred hands, a tangled heart, and an incomplete past. For I am the one who turns what is unfinished into something glorious. I know there are wounds you've kept hidden, things you're too ashamed to tell anyone. But I see them, and I do not recoil from you because of them. On the contrary, I gather you into my arms and whisper, "Let me heal you. Let me make you new." The cleansing I offer is not skin deep. It reaches to the root. I do not merely erase the consequences of sin. I renew the very nature within, placing in you a new heart, a new spirit, a new life. You do not need to keep living under shame. You do not need to keep pretending to be okay. Give yourself permission to be free. Free to cry, free to breathe, free to let go, free to receive healing. This is the right of being my child. You are not defined by what you've done, but by the love of the one who chose you before you were ever formed in your mother's womb. Let go. Let the past stay behind. Let failures become the evidence of grace. Let mistakes become the foundation for mercy. And let the darkest memories be washed in the brilliant light of forgiveness. You will never be able to live fully if you keep looking back. But when you lift your head, when you choose to believe that I have cleansed all that needed cleansing, you will walk lighter. No more burdens. No more chains. No more quiet shame. Only a soul set free. A heart radiant in the knowledge that it is deeply, endlessly loved. And do you know, my child, when you realize that you've been forgiven, you will begin to forgive yourself. You'll no longer need to hide, no longer live in fear that one day people will find out. I already know, and I still choose to love you. So then, what are you afraid of? Live in the light. Hold your head high, not out of pride, but because you have been restored. Let my light shine into every corner of your soul, and you will see there is nothing left to hide, nothing left to cover up. You are a child of the light, and that light will shine through your very life to bring hope to those still walking in the darkness you once knew. You will tell your story, not with shame, but with glory. You will no longer be a victim of the past, but a bearer of good news to others. And it all begins when you stop the struggle to cleanse yourself, and receive what I have done for you before time began. Unconditional cleansing, irrevocable forgiveness, and true freedom. And now, my deeply beloved child, Let these words sink into every fiber of your soul, for they are not merely sounds. They are eternal truth flowing from my heart. I do not look at you through the lens of your past, nor through the mistakes you've made, but through eyes full of mercy and steadfast love. In my gaze, you are no longer marked by failure. In my gaze, you are chosen, cherished, and held with infinite gentleness. I know everything you've done. I've seen every time you lost your way, every moment you blamed yourself, every time you felt unworthy to stand before me. But I do not see you as the world sees. I do not label you by your failures. I do not keep a record of your wrongs to use against you when you fall. I have forgiven, I have erased, and I have decided not to remember. What once brought me sorrow has now been washed away by my love, and what remains is the longing to see you walk in the freedom I prepared for you from the beginning. From the moment you opened your heart to me, even in the quietest whisper of a prayer, I moved. I not only cleansed you with my precious blood, but I sanctified you, meaning I set you apart for a sacred purpose, for a life that bears eternal meaning. And from that moment on, when I look at you, I see only light, a light not born of your own strength, but of my perfect love blazing within you, reflected in your eyes, your actions, and every healed beat of your heart. My child, every day you live, every breath you take, it is a sacred opportunity to rise in grace. No one is too filthy to be cleansed. No one is too broken to be restored. And certainly you are not the exception. There is no stain too deep for the pure waters of my mercy. There is no burden too heavy that I cannot lift from your shoulders. So let your heart be still. Let me whisper into the deepest places of your soul, you are mine. Nothing can change that. No one can take that from you. No matter how far you've wandered, my love has waited patiently for your return. No matter how many times you've fallen, my hand has always been extended to lift you up again. I do not love you because you are perfect. I love you because you are mine. And when that love covers you, it doesn't just erase the past. It gives you a radiant future. A future where you no longer live haunted by what went wrong. A future where you are truly free, not just from sin, but from the burden of proving your worth. Because you have nothing to prove to me. You are enough. Simply because you are you, the child I created, embraced, and called by name. Look back on your life through the light of grace, not through the lens of regret. What has happened has not ruined the plans I have for you. It has only deepened your journey. It is those very tears that softened the soil of your heart so I could sow new seeds into it. It is the breaking that paved the way for resurrection. And it is in the very places where you once felt most unworthy that I will cause miracles to bloom. Starting today, I invite you to walk with a new posture, free, at peace, and full of hope. Do not carry the shadows of yesterday. Do not let the old accusations drag you back into old chains. Lift your head. Walk as one who has been set free, because that is the truth. You are no longer bound by what was. You are not defined by your wounds. You are defined by my word. You are mine. Forgiven, loved, and set apart for greatness. The peace I give you does not come from the world, and so the world cannot take it away. This peace is not dependent on circumstance. It does not come and go with your feelings. It is a deep inner stillness, a firm foundation in the storm, a refuge that endures through life's tempests. And you will find it when you surrender fully into my embrace. From this moment forward, you can live unafraid of what once haunted you. You can smile without guilt gnawing at your heart. You can love without being led by old wounds. For my love within you is making all things new. That love will restore lost innocence, rebuild broken trust, and reignite the desire to live wholeheartedly. The desire you once abandoned in your disappointment. My beloved, live as one who is forgiven, because that is who you are. Walk as one who is restored, for I have done this for you. Speak, act, and think as one who is fully loved, for none love you as I do. And every day, every hour, every breath is a fresh invitation to rise, to walk, to live as the sacred being I placed within you from the beginning. And you will see not only a life transformed, but you yourself will become a living testimony to the miraculous power of my love. From the one who carried wounds, you shall become the one who carries healing. From the place of brokenness, you shall become the place where my glory is revealed. And it all begins not with what you do, but with what I have already finished, because you belong to me, and once you belong to me, you are forever held in unchanging love. My beloved, let me continue to speak to your soul in a voice as clear as a silent stream, steady yet fierce. The time has come for you to rise from the shadow of false humility and step boldly into the land I have prepared for you. True humility is not rejecting the blessings I give, nor living under the weight of unworthiness. When you refuse to receive what is good simply because you fear you are too small, you unknowingly limit my power in your life. You were not created to shrink back in fear of lack. I did not form you merely to survive. I formed you to live, and to live abundantly. True humility is knowing that all you have comes from me, and therefore you do not need to fear losing anything when you live in close communion with me. I am the source that never runs dry. My goodness is not just sufficient, it is always overflowing. My provision is not bound by bank accounts, economies, or any circumstance. I am not shaken by what makes you tremble. So, my child, let go of the daily worries that keep you from living fully, the anxieties about tomorrow, the calculations for the future, the constant concerns that leave your heart restless. Surrender them all to me, not because you shouldn't care about life, but because you were never meant to carry it alone. I did not design your life for you to hold everything together. On the contrary, I long for you to live with open hands, ready to receive and just as ready to give. Remember, when I bless, I do not bless you so that you may keep it for yourself, but so that it may overflow, like a river that never runs dry. Indeed, you only step into true abundance when you learn to trust me enough to let go, to give, to live as one who knows they will never lack. Because true wealth is not found in what you hold on to, but in the trust that I am the one who always provides, beyond need. I do not want you to prosper only in the physical or in what can be seen. I desire for you to thrive in your very soul, where peace cannot be bought, where joy is not dependent on circumstance, where freedom flows even in the midst of hardship. I want every cell within you, from body to emotion, from mind to heart, to be filled with life from heaven. And for that to happen, you must place unwavering trust in me, especially when you choose to walk in surrender. When you give not only your finances, but your time, your care, your prayers, your love, your forgiveness, and when you do so with unshaken faith, you are not merely performing a righteous act, you are opening a gate into the treasure store of heaven, where I have prepared every good thing for you. That gate is not opened by pressure or fear, but by complete trust that I am faithful and true. And this I promise you, my beloved, every seed you sow in faith will bear fruit in its season. No gift, no matter how small, is meaningless in my eyes. No act of love, no matter how hidden, goes unnoticed. I remember it all. I multiply it all. And the day will come when you look back in awe, seeing that it was my own hand that accomplished what once seemed impossible. I long to see you living no longer bound by a spirit of lack, the kind that whispers you will lose if you give, or be hurt if you trust. No, my beloved, the truth is, you are never at a loss when you place something in my hands, because I do not just repay, I return in abundance. I withhold no good thing from the one who walks in reverence and knows that I alone am enough. So live, my child, as one who is loved, chosen, and provided for. Strip off the shell of fear that once made you live cautiously. Step into a life of true prosperity, not just outwardly, but from the deepest place within. Allow yourself to receive what I have already prepared. Let gratitude lead your actions. Let faith become the force behind your giving. For when you give, you do not lose. You are partnering with heaven. When you live with an open heart, you become like a river, not a stagnant pool. And that river, filled by the waters that flow from me, will never run dry. You will be the place where I pour out grace, and from you, that grace will flow to every corner. Others will look at you and see my fingerprints in the way you live, the way you give, the way you trust, the way you walk through trials without fear. Trust me, my beloved. Let this truth echo in your heart each day. You were not created to hold back. You were created to give. And in that giving, you are living out the very reason I formed you. To be a child in the house of the King, an heir of every good and perfect gift, and one who is called to bring blessings to the world. And in the midst of the siege of darkness, when shadows cover every path, you do not fall. Though the whirlwind howls outside and the raging storm tries to drown everything, within you blazes a light that never goes out, a light of faith forged through tears, through trials, through moments when you felt you had no strength left to go on. You have not only stood firm, you have risen, not by your own might, but by the power of the divine calling burning within you, and that, my beloved one, was never a coincidence. Every moment you chose to remain in the place I set you was a heartbeat of obedience. When the world turned its face away, when the voices of mockery, scorn, and even betrayal echoed around you, that was when your invisible yet unshakable covenant with me was etched even deeper. I see it all. Not a single sigh escapes your lips without touching my heart. Not a single tear falls without being cradled by me. The words you whisper when no one sees, the prayers you speak in the stillness of the midnight hour, all of them become a song that rises to the eternal realm, soaked in the fragrance of your faithfulness. You do not know that it is this very courage, this defiant spirit within you, that has shaken the heavens. In the dwelling place of truth and righteousness, every step you've taken is etched into eternity, not because you were perfect, but because you remained faithful while being crushed, not because you were never weak, but because you chose to rise when everything in you wanted to give up. And this, beloved, causes heaven to rejoice. I, the one who called you out of darkness into light, take great pleasure in watching you refuse to give up, refuse to bargain with the darkness, refuse to retreat into loneliness. You have kept the fire in your heart from going out, even when the winds raged, the rains fell, and the enemy howled around you. I know there were nights you lay awake, not out of fear, but because your heart was silently fighting to hold on to your faith in me. There were days you walked forward for one reason only: a promise. A promise that I would never forsake you. And you held on to that promise as a sacred treasure, refusing to let it be stolen. That is the great victory no human eye can see, but in the realm of the Spirit, it burns bright like a torch, lighting the way for an entire generation. I chose you before you even knew my name. I appointed you for this very moment, not to live an easy life, but to be a keeper of the flame in a season of darkness. Your presence is not small in my eyes. Your faithfulness causes heaven to fall silent just to listen. Because you are not just a bearer of wounds, you are the bearer of a divine mark, and within every pain you've endured, I have hidden the seed of a miraculous harvest. Now that harvest is drawing near. Beloved child, I am breathing new life into your journey. After the long, weary days, I am unveiling a new horizon before your eyes. A place where the chaos no longer screams, where the invisible blows no longer bring you to your knees, but a place of peace like a stream flowing through a parched land. This is the reward for your perseverance, a season of peace that is not merely rest for your body, but a deep restoration of your soul. There you will be healed not only by time, but by my unchanging love. You walked through the fire and were not burned. You passed through the waters and were not swept away. I was there, every step, every second, and now, into your very hands I am placing a sacred harvest. Nothing has been lost, not a single moment was in vain. All has been recorded in my eyes, filled with love. You no longer have to fight alone, for I am coming, bringing strength and deliverance. Everything you have surrendered will not return void. Every dream, every whispered prayer, every silent sacrifice will sprout, will grow, will bloom. And hear my voice within you. Now is your time. The winter has passed. The rains are over and gone. Flowers appear on the earth. The song of birds echoes across the hills. This is the moment I bring you out of the shadows and set you high upon the rock, that the world may know I am faithful. No more weary waiting, no more wandering in uncertainty. You will step into a new land, a land I have prepared solely for you, a place where tears no longer flow from pain, but from wonder and overwhelming goodness. So do not be surprised when peace knocks at your door. Do not doubt when new doors open before you, for this has not come by chance, nor by luck, but because I, the living one, have seen the faithfulness of your heart. And now the reward is closer than ever. You only need to keep walking. With the heart you had at the beginning, hold on to the light, hold on to faith, and let me fulfill the miracle I have promised. O my beloved child, now is the time for you to fling wide the door of your heart, the door you may have closed out of fear, pain, or weariness. Let your heart be as vast as the sky I painted, not confined by piercing memories or old limitations. I am inviting you not only to see what I've placed before you, but to boldly stretch out your hands and receive, without doubt, without hesitation, without holding back. For what is coming is the fulfillment of what I etched into your soul from the very beginning. You were not born to live small, shrunk into the shadows of the past. Your soul is not a fragile vessel, but a vast field sown with my promises. Look now, I am painting a land full of light before you, not a fleeting or artificial light, but one forged in the eternal love I have for you. Step in, not with perfection, but with trust. Move forward, not by logic, but by a heart softened in my presence. Let yourself be carried in the ceaseless flow of blessing. a flow not shallow like stagnant pools, but a living river that pours from my throne. This river not only washes away pain and weariness, but brings with it new things, new life, new vision, a heart renewed to believe, to hope, to trust in the unseen. You don't need to strive against what comes from grace. Release your fears and let me wrap you in my unchanging love. You don't need to be worthy. You only need to be willing to believe that I have always loved you and will always love you, not for what you do, but for who you are in my eyes. My love is not a fleeting emotion. It is the foundation of everything unfolding in your life. It is this very love that has carried you through fire and water, preserved you in the midst of darkness, and lifted you up when you stood lost in a maze of confusion. This love is an unquenchable flame, a hand that never pulls away, a gentle whisper in your loneliest nights saying, I am here, and I will always be here, now and forevermore. There is no force in the universe that can remove you from my embrace. No darkness is so deep that it can hide you from my eyes. No sin is too great for me to forgive. No past too heavy for me to redeem. You may have been abandoned by many, and doors may have closed in front of you, but I have never walked away from your life. Even when you lost your way, I watched over you. Even when you grew weary, I sustained you. Even when you doubted yourself, I still believed in the goodness I planted within your soul. So receive the blessings now pouring into your life, not as unexpected surprises, but as long-awaited promises. These are not coincidences. They are the fruit of every faithful step you've taken, the reward for your obedience in the absence of proof, the harvest of silent tears and whispered prayers I have never forgotten. Do not call it luck. This is my faithfulness. This is the sign that heaven is responding to a heart that waited and did not let go. I have seen every sacrifice you've made, the smallest acts that no one else noticed but that heaven never missed. I know you chose what was right, even when it would have been easier to choose what was wrong. I know you kept your heart tender and refused to let bitterness take root, and I am so proud of you. Because these invisible choices are the foundation for a season of blessing that is about to blossom in your life. You will no longer walk in limitation. You will no longer be confined by old failures, harsh judgments, or vague fears. I am breaking the invisible chains that have bound your mind. I am opening a door that no one can shut, and you will come to know that nothing I've done has been wasted. Everything you've endured has prepared you for this moment, so that you may walk forward with confidence and profound gratitude. Lift up your head. Step forward in the freedom I paid the price to give you. You do not need to look back for validation. The future is calling your name. Light stretches out before you. You don't need to understand everything. You only need to trust that I am holding your hand. And my hand has never failed. Take a deep breath. Let the quiet joy within your heart return. Let the old songs rise again, not as memories, but as the beginning of something new. For I am doing a new thing, something wondrous, something far beyond what you ever hoped for, and it begins now, in this moment, in every beat of your heart. My beloved, if you could see yourself through my eyes, you would be in awe of the extraordinary strength dwelling within your soul, a strength not born of appearance or grand victories, but of quiet endurance when no one was watching, of steadfast faith when no light shone on your path. You have shown remarkable resilience, not through shouts or grandeur, but through silent courage and unwavering steadiness as the winds of life howled through every breath. In the moments when everything seemed to fall apart, when your heart grew weary and your mind was torn by questions without answers, you still chose to believe. when your steps felt heavy as if weighed down by stones, when your spirit frayed like a fragile thread in the wind, still you walked on, not because you had all the answers, but because you believed I was still there, even unseen. And that very faith, the belief in what cannot be seen, became the lamp that lit your path through the darkest nights. No one saw the tears that fell in silence, but I did. No one heard the painful whispers in your heart, but I listened. Every word, every breath. You were never weak. On the contrary, you've been stronger than you ever imagined. Because true strength isn't found in what you can control, but in your ability to persist when everything feels uncertain. And I have seen in you a bravery that surpasses all human measure, a courage unbound, daring to trust me even when nothing in sight offered reassurance. It is this sacred boldness that has unlocked doors you never knew existed. There were times when your prayers felt like they vanished into emptiness, echoing endlessly into a silent sky. But what you didn't know is that each of those words was a sacred seed planted in the soil of promise, where I, in perfect timing, would cause it to bloom. You thought you were speaking in vain, but in truth, I was listening, preparing every answer, not by your timeline, but by heaven's divine schedule. Nothing you've endured has been meaningless. Every pain has been recorded, every silent sacrifice honored. You chose to trust me when logic gave every reason to give up. You clung to my word when nothing else felt clear, and that choice, the decision to keep believing without visible evidence, became the key that unlocked a new season. A new beginning is unfolding, not because things have become easier, but because you have grown strong enough to step into it. Do you realize it now? These trials didn't come to break you, but to show you how resilient you truly are. The dark nights weren't signs I abandoned you, but reminders that your light is strong enough to defy the darkness. I did not allow you to walk through these things to harm you, but to lift you to a higher realm, where your faith no longer depends on fleeting feelings, but is rooted deeply in knowing me. Now, you are the living proof of my power and my faithfulness. Your very life is the testimony of what I can do in a soul that refuses to give up. And from that place, from the depths of your faithfulness and sacrifice, I am bringing forth a transformation that will echo into eternity. No one can steal what is coming to you, because it is not the product of chance, but the fruit of a journey steeped in blood, tears, and prayer. My beloved, you have passed through the hardest chapters of your story, and now I am beginning to write the next part, not with the ink of sorrow, but with the light of hope. I am turning everything around, failures into stepping stones, wounds into marks of glory, loss into promises of restoration. You are not merely a survivor, you are one who is called to rise, to shine, to become a flame of warmth for wandering souls. I want you to know, there is nothing in your past that I cannot redeem. No winter lasts forever, and no darkness is beyond the reach of my light. You chose to place your trust in me, and I will never let you down. What I have begun, I will complete, and what you once only dared to whisper in your heart, I will declare openly on this earth, so all may know that I am the faithful one. So lift up your head, do not hesitate, walk forward without fear, step ahead with the certainty that nothing from the past can hinder the goodness that is coming. You have fought bravely, and now it is time to reap. A new season is rising, a new gate is opening wide, and beyond it lies everything I have promised, ready to pour upon you like a summer rain after a long drought. because I love you, because I have seen every step you've taken, and because I myself have chosen you, not merely to survive, but to live fully in the power and glory of restoration. Be steadfast, my beloved. The days ahead will prove that nothing you have endured was in vain. I am still here, and the best is just ahead. O my beloved, as you stand on the threshold of an entirely new chapter, I urgently call you. Keep seeking me, not in haste or doubt, but in the stillness, sincerity, and patience of a heart that knows I am always listening. Keep praying, not only to speak, but to listen, to lean into my presence like a child resting against their father's chest. There are things I long to reveal to you, deeper revelations, truths yet to be unveiled, and all will be opened through the quiet flow of faithful prayer. Do not leave that secret place too quickly. Do not let the rush of life pull you away from the eternal source of life. For it is there, where you kneel, where you weep, where you praise or sit silent in heartbreak. It is there that I meet you. It is there that I renew your soul, giving you spiritual eyes to see what others cannot, and ears attuned to the call from heaven. Prayer is not merely a means. It is the bond between my heart and yours, a communion that cannot be severed by time, distance, or any force. And when you pray, anchor your heart in the promises I have spoken. Do not let circumstances blur the truth. What I have promised I will fulfill. What I have declared I will not withdraw. Remember, my promises are not bound by emotion or sight, but by my unchanging nature, the faithful one. There may have been days when you felt those words were meant for someone else, not for you. But the truth is, from the beginning I engraved your name on the palms of my hands. Not a single promise I have given was without a portion reserved for you. Today is not just another ordinary day. It is a milestone in the divine timeline I ordained before you were formed in your mother's womb. You may not see what's shifting, but in the spirit realm, a movement is taking place. A redirection of destiny, a door opening from on high. This is the dawn of something new, something miraculous you've long yearned for in silence, perhaps too sacred to even voice aloud, for fear that hope might once again meet disappointment. But I have remembered it all, both what you've spoken and the unspoken dreams buried deep within. What is coming to you is not the result of coincidence, but the fulfillment of a season prepared in silence. What you've sown in tears will now blossom in wonder and joy. The very ground that once felt barren, the place where you thought all hope had dried up, that place will become the most fertile soil, for I have descended to breathe life into all that seemed dead. I never forget delayed dreams, and I am not indifferent to the doors you thought were shut forever. And in the midst of all that is shifting, there is one thing that never changes: my love for you. A love beyond all definitions, beyond time, beyond circumstances, even beyond the mistakes you've made. I do not love you because you are worthy. I love you because you are mine. No matter how many times you fall, no matter how long you wander, my love still awaits you with arms that never close. This is a love not tied to conditions, not measured by accomplishments, not dependent on your understanding, but a love that has existed from eternity and will endure forever. Do not let the accusations of the enemy cause you to doubt my love. Do not let failure convince you that you've gone too far. No scheme of darkness can destroy what I have built. No wound is too deep for me to heal. No pit is too low for my hand to reach. I am the one who stepped into the depths with you, and I myself will lead you out. Set your feet upon a solid rock, and restore to you the freedom you thought was lost. My child, I know you are weary. I know there have been nights when you bowed your head, not because of lack of sleep, but because your soul was heavy with unnamed burdens. I know you've been trying beyond your own strength to remain steadfast, to hold on to hope. And I say to you now, every act, every quiet effort has not been in vain. I have seen it all, and I am responding, not just with words of comfort, but with real movement in your reality. So stand, not out of obligation, but in the faith that I am walking with you. Move forward, not because you have all the answers, but because you know I hold your future. Treasure the promise as a precious gem, and don't stop praying as if it were your breath, because it is the breath of your soul. The best things are not behind you, they are ahead, waiting for you, in the place I have prepared, where I will lead you with my guiding, loving, and never-failing hand. Now lift up to me this prayer. Lord, today I pause, not to let worries pull me away from your presence, but to hear what is stirring in the heavenly realm. I choose to stop running, stop striving, and bow to hear your voice. Open my eyes to see the divine appointment you've already prepared. I surrender my tangled thoughts and lay down the burden I've long hidden. May today mark the beginning of breakthrough, where faith rises and miracles unfold. Lord, I bow before you with a longing to hear your sacred whisper. I don't want to miss what you have ordained for today. Help me release haste, stop running in fear, and open my heart to receive this holy moment. I believe that in the stillness, you are speaking something that will shift my life. Break the old chains, open new doors, and set me on the path aligned with your perfect timing. Lord, you who see the weariness in my soul, today I choose to listen. I no longer need to run, no longer need to prove anything. I believe that right now, today, you are doing something new, a turning point, a breaking off of old burdens. Give me faith to trust your word and courage to surrender. I receive the sacred blessing and declare, today is the day everything begins to shift. Lord, I thank you for stopping me at the right time. I know this is not by chance. This is a divine calling. Please cleanse my mind from chaos and grant my soul the stillness to hear your voice. If today is a moment of divine shift, do not let me miss it. Open the door that has long been shut. Break the old cycles and lead me into a new season full of light and peace. Lord, I hear your voice calling me to pause and release every burden. With every breath, I know what you are preparing will shift my destiny. I no longer want to keep running in exhaustion, pretending I'm fine while my heart is bleeding. Please meet me in the quiet, lift me from the shadows, and illuminate my path with your living promise. Lord, if today is the moment you've appointed for my life to turn, help me not to resist, but to receive it by faith. I don't need all the answers anymore. I only need your presence. Speak just one word, and I will step out of the old whirlwind. Teach me to stand still while the world spins, so I can hear your voice more clearly. I trust you, for you hold every moment in your hands. Lord, I slow down today, refusing to be swept away by fear or confusion. I believe the stirring I feel is not random, but a call from heaven. I receive your word. Today is the beginning of something entirely new. Replace my doubt with unshakable faith, my emptiness with the fullness of your presence. I am ready to be healed, restored, and sent according to your eternal will. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. If you love the Lord, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any meaningful, life-giving messages from Him. Together, we will grow in faith and live a life fulfilled in His love. Amen.